Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am here to talk about Joseph Holmes versus Claudio Ribeiro. Joseph Holmes is 27 years old, 3 inches of height and 3 inches of reach on Claudio Ribeiro, who's 30 years old. So Joseph Holmes, yeah, he's a big, tall guy. I think he's like 6'5" or whatever. I don't know. Maybe 6'4". But either way, Holmes, let's start with him. He's got an 8-3 record, 2 knockouts, 6 submissions, 0 decisions, and his 3 losses come 1 by submission and 2 by decision. He's a submission guy, and in this fight, he is the submission guy. You know, Claudio Ribeiro, even though he's only lost by submission once and it's in his debut, he's definitely at a deficit here, at a disadvantage when it comes to submission grappling. Joseph Holmes, the last loss was to Junyoung Park. That was the submission loss, which, you know, Junyoung Park's a very high-level fighter, the best fighter he's fought, and a guy that you can count on to take you down, which you can't count on with Claudio Ribeiro. But Joseph Holmes, he's got 8 wins. 6 of them come by submission, as I said. 5 of those are rear naked chokes. The best submission win is Alan Amedovski, but I know he's already out of the UFC, and he was very, very low-level UFC. Never won once, I believe. But Joseph Holmes, I think he's got some advantages in this fight. I think he can exploit some potential cardio issues with Claudio Ribeiro if he's able to pressure him in any sort of way. If he's staying on the outside of Claudio Ribeiro's heavier shots, because despite being the smaller man, Ribeiro is the visibly more powerful fighter, then I think he's going to lose this fight. But if he fights his way inside, maybe he just makes it a submission battle and ends up winning if he gets the takedowns. Or he, sucks some of the life out of Claudio Ribeiro and pressures him in a way he's not used to being pressured. Claudio Ribeiro, yeah, he's been able to fight on the back foot, and he's even, won a 5th-round knockout against this capable guy, Kelly Albuquerque, and he did so by turning it up in rounds 4 and 5, but still, he fights like Yoel Romero. I think I remember saying that the last time that I broke down his fight with Abdul Razak Al-Hassan. But he fights like Yoel Romero. He's a very patient guy, and he's always dangerous. But patient guys are only patient because they don't trust their own cardio. And based on that alone, I'm thinking he might have some cardio issues. But I do think if Joseph Holmes presses him, he could find some success. Claudio Ribeiro, if he's able to keep this fight on the feet, I think, first of all, on the off chance Joseph Holmes has learned how to strike like a guy who's 6'5" and he makes the absolute most of his reach, then Ribeiro's going to have to make shit happen. But I think as it stands now, I expect Ribeiro to just win the striking battle by, despite low output, by being the more visibly powerful striker, and Joseph Holmes being relatively limited. But still, Claudio Ribeiro, he's a dangerous guy again. Knockout in round 5, 8 in round 1, 1 in round 2. And he's got 0 submission victories and 1 submission loss. It comes in his MMA debut, which might be forgivable, as is his knockout loss to Abdul Razak Al-Hassan, because that guy is a fucking pure knockout artist, one of the best in MMA. But, and of course, I don't think that's a path to victory for Joseph Holmes. Cracking his chin, I think you can't take that away from a loss to Abdul Razak Al-Hassan by knockout. But Claudio Ribeiro, I do think he's limited in general on the ground, and I do not trust his cardio, despite him having the 5th-round knockout. Again, he's got that Yoel Romero syndrome. So I think Joseph Holmes, I think he's in the realm of winning this fight, because he's never been knocked out. If he had 1 knockout loss, I would be picking against him, but he's never been knocked out, and I do think that alone gives him, a shot at exploiting potential cardio issues with Claudio Ribeiro, the fact that he's going to be there. And also, if he's able to get him down, which doesn't mean double legs, it means stuffing him against the cage and turning a quarter and lacing one of your long legs through his. And I think he could exploit Claudio Ribeiro in a few different ways. So I'm picking Joseph Holmes to win. I'm picking him to win by submission or decision, which I would bet on if those lines came out. But as of now, it's just decision plus 500. Submission, for me, they break it down by round. They don't just give you a flat submission line. So it's plus 1,100, plus 1,500, plus 1,700. And I think for you guys, that might work out to be around plus 400 for submission flat. But I definitely value Joseph Holmes. And his money line, of course, because I'm picking him, it sits at plus 145. I think there's value there, but I got his money line a little juicier yesterday. Whatever. I got to research his shit, so I can't just crank out videos and whatever. Anyway, picking Joseph Holmes to win. Wouldn't surprise me if he lost, but again, I've never seen him get knocked out, and I do think, he's got a shittier record because he's fought some better competition, and he's going to be able to exploit some holes in Claudio Ribeiro's game. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit. Check out my other videos.